I don't think you're actually scared to fail. I think you just hate the idea of somebody watching you try at something and not get it right the first time. So you play it safe and you tell yourself that you're just not ready to do the thing and that you'll do it next time, and you actually end up not doing it at all. If that feels true to you, then this episode is for you. There were so many times in my life when I said to myself that I would start things when I felt like everything was put together and that I was 100% ready to do it. But deep down, what that really meant is that I didn't want it to look like I really didn't know what I was doing. And that waiting turned into months. It turned into years of not doing anything. I've realized later in my life that failing isn't that deep. It's really not that deep. It just means that you tried at something and you figured out what doesn't work. How you look at failure is going to dictate how you're going to navigate in your life and what you're going to accomplish. You have to look at failure like feedback. That's the mental change you have to make. Failure equals feedback. When something doesn't go how you wanted, don't beat yourself up for too long. There is a trap that you can fall into whenever you fail at something, and that is falling into that loop of woe is me, self-pity, and just things are not working, and then ultimately you start telling yourself that you're just not good at that thing and that you failed because you completely sucked at it. That's a trap that people can fall into for many, many months and decades upon decades, to where they actually don't start taking risks or actually even doing some of the easy things in life because they're afraid of that feeling. If you don't know what to do when you fail at something and you feel those emotions and it absolutely frustrates you that you tried something and you didn't get the outcome that you wanted, try asking yourself one simple question whenever you fail. What can I learn from that? Very simple. Seems very simple on the surface, but it's actually a question that's going to lead you to a lot of internal investigation, and you start to dig deep into that thing that you did, and ultimately you'll start to see and start to develop the mindset of growth, a growth mindset, meaning that you see yourself as someone that can improve and not that everything is doom and gloom and it's over. You start to develop that when you look at failure as a feedback mechanism and ask yourself, what can I learn from this thing? Immediately your mind shifts from that victim mentality and you start to go into the hero energy, where you're now into problem solving mode to say, okay, I failed because I didn't do this right, or I didn't know about this, I didn't foresee this, or this was the circumstance. Fine. Next time, here's where I can improve myself. Here's how I can approach the situation differently. Maybe I go into a different situation. Maybe I try something different. Maybe I get help from somebody else and learn how to do X, Y, and Z. This is where your mind starts going, and it takes you out of that loop where you're just beating yourself up, and actually not even doing anything. See it as part of the process. See it as part of the process of growth, not proof that you're bad at something. Most people are bad at something because they quit at trying. They quit trying the thing because they see that they're bad at it, and then they just throw it away and put it away and say it is what it is. If you try long enough and you actually learn from it and you pivot, and maybe you get some help from somebody, you can be pretty good at a lot of things. Now, granted, there's levels to it, right? Some people can be amazing at different things because they're naturally gifted, or some people dedicate an insane amount of time to something and become extremely good at it, right? Like pro athletes, for example. But you can be pretty good at anything really that you want to do if you put in the time to grow from it and ask yourself these questions. I didn't do well here. What can I learn from it? I didn't do well here. What can I learn from it? I tried this. I failed this. What can I learn from this? That's a very powerful question. If you are getting value from this episode, subscribe to the Be Unafraid podcast, where I will share episodes with you that will help you stop being afraid and stop wallowing in self-pity and actually get moving with your life. So let's get back into this episode. Let them see it. You don't have to hide those messy parts. Not a problem at all, because guess what? Everybody fails at something, and those that fail the fastest achieve the most. Use it as an opportunity. Talk about what you're learning. Share it with other people. There's always somebody who's going to be a step behind you. No matter where you are in life, when you're chasing something and you're going after something, you're always going to be a step ahead of somebody. You may not be in deep into the process. You may not be years into the process. You might be months into the process, but there's somebody else who hasn't even started. There's somebody else who just started and who might be just behind you. Talk about that. They are also trying to learn the things that you're trying to learn as well. When you fail, you ask yourself those questions. What can I learn from this? You learn from it. You improve, you grow, you go to the next level. There's somebody who's still stuck in that previous step you were in, and they're trying to figure it out. Talk about it, help them. That's something that's changed the game for me. And I realize that as I grow, as I improve in these different domains in my life, I can reach back and start helping those other people too as well, and use my learnings and my growth to actually pull other people up with me so that I am not alone at the top. When you do that, when you let that messy part be out there, talk about it, use it as an opportunity to grow and help other people grow. People usually relate more to that. People relate more to honesty, and people will gravitate towards that honest and real and authentic version of yourself more than the perfect version that you might be trying to build and put out there into the world. People want to see other human beings being human and growing and succeeding, and that gravitates them to that person. And then they now strive to actually do that thing. When they see a perfect human being, it's like shining a mirror upon themselves and saying that, hey, that guy is so perfect, I can never achieve that. Perfect is an impossible goal to achieve. So when people see quote unquote perfect, they think of you as a human and superhero that they can never be like. So it's hard for them to truly relate to you, which is why being authentic and showing those messy parts, showing those failures is important. Don't wait until you feel ready. Biggest mistake I ever made in my life, still make to this day, but try to be very conscious of it, is waiting until you feel ready. You want to do something right now. You feel energetic, you feel excited about it. It's a great idea. You look it up, you start to figure it out, and all of a sudden you start to overthink it. You start to think about the how, you start to think about where you are, how talented you are, what's your skill in it, how you're going to fail at this thing. And then all of a sudden it sucks all that energy away. And now you don't even want to do that thing anymore that 30 minutes ago you were super excited about. Don't worry about that. Just go and do it. Start small. Figure out a way to get into it early. Quick story about how I got into mixed martial arts, which now I am a couple of years in, right? About 3 years training mixed martial arts. Never in my mind did I ever think that I would actually be training mixed martial arts and competing in amateur mixed martial arts fights. Was never on my radar ever at any point in my life. But because I took advantage of that opportunity and I decided to take a small step in my life, starting mixed martial arts at such a late age in my late 20s, I didn't have the courage, I didn't have the confidence to actually do it. And it's something that I wanted to do for a long time. And it wasn't until one of my trainer and friends came to me and said, hey, why don't you just come take a class with me? Start small, start with one class. You're not going to go fight anybody and get hurt, get injured or any of that. Just come take a class, fitness class. We go in there, we do our thing. And then if you like it, keep doing it. If you don't, then don't. I went in there, I took the class, and then I never looked back ever since then. Started small, built up, and now I'm full in it. That's how things work. You start small, you go in, you try it, you like it, you're likely to continue it. It gets growing into something else. You try it, you don't like it, you pivot, you move on. So make sure you start small. You will learn more in your life by actually trying than planning to death. Do not overplan and do nothing. It's better to do something small than to just sit there and plan things out but never do it. If you wait until everything feels right, you might never start. What would you do in your life if you weren't afraid? Ask yourself that question. What would you do if you weren't afraid? Today, this week, pick something that you've been avoiding, that you've been wanting to do, but you're afraid to do. Go in there and try it. It does not have to be perfect. It just has to be a little bit of progress. If it works out, it works out. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, then you know. and you move on. Just keep trying things, and then bit by bit, you'll find the thing that you like to do, and then you'll stop trying to be perfect and now start to actually enjoy things in life. If on the outside you look like you have everything put together and you have the perfect life, but deep down inside you're just not happy, you're not satisfied, you're wanting more and you feel like you can do more, check out this episode right here where I talk about how you can actually find your true mission and drive yourself forward in life. So check it out.